All right, weekly forecast for Sunday, August 26th, 2018. The first pair we're going to be looking at is AJ. And for these first few pairs, these are all pairs that we are looking at to buy low over the course of the week. All right, so here we've got AJ. All right, let's start with the market environment. It looks like a weak markup to me, based on this MA. All right. By the way, if anything I say in these videos doesn't really make sense, feel free to message me, or just find a way to contact me if you'd like to learn just my general trading concepts in my system. Okay, once again, this is not supposed to be educational in terms of teaching you my system or my concepts. This is simply forecasting the week. All right, forecasting the upcoming week, pairs as of now that I'm looking at. All right, now this is definitely not all the pairs or all the setups that I will be trading over the course of the week. There's lots of setups that occur throughout the week, a lot more than I'm covering in this video. This is simply the setups that are of interest as of right now. Okay, but you know, a lot more setups occur every day and even every 4 hours. So yes, this is just the setups of interest as of right now. All right, and if you're interested in learning in the concepts, just find a way to get in touch with me, and I would love to discuss with you. All right. So first, let's start with the weekly pivot is pretty close, all right, to the close of AJ, all right, which goes with it being a kind of a weak markup, all right. We'll throw some fibs on. All right. We will throw those trend line. We'll wait a little bit. Let's throw on the MAs, EMAs, and SMAs. Okay. All right. I'm liking the 81 to 81.2 area. So I guess 81 to 81.2, right around here. Basically, that 23.6 to 38.2 fib area. You've got that EMA 50 in there. Okay, and it's not too far of a stretch. It's at the pretty much at the weekly pivot and just a little bit beyond. All right. Let's the TMA center band is in there. Okay. If we let's hide those fibs. Oh, I'm just gonna delete them. All right. Trend lines. Yeah, pretty much expecting a possible break or bounce. I mean, bounce or a break. It's still around that 81.2 area. All right. Down to possibly the 81. All right. So we're going to be looking to buy there, guys. Yes, AJ in a weak markup still. All right. As you can see with the levels, 81% chance of breaking out the previous week's high here, and that's the same as the previous day's high. All right, 81% chance of that breakout. All right. HMA, thinking we're going to break out of that first before pulling back, and then I'm thinking going up over the course of the week. All right. Wave trend, one time frame up. Yes. Bullish out of that oversold zone. All right. Let's move on. We've got CJ. Oh, and by the way, AJ is also not only over the course of the week, but over the course of just Monday. Just over the course of Monday as well, we are looking to buy those lows of Monday and possibly holding that trade through Monday, possibly extending through the rest of the week. But over the course of the week, we are looking to buy those lows, okay, around that 81, 81.2-ish level, okay? Let's move on to CJ. Okay. CJ, I'd say we're in a little bit of a stronger markup with CJ. We're going to draw the fibs from here. Okay. I'm liking that 85 level as the weekly pivot as well, obviously, is a sweet spot. It's a little bit, it's a probe of this gold trend line and possible probe or bounce of this gray one as well. That 85 area is really nice to me. It might get a little lower, like I said, 84.8. Let's do on the EMAs, SMAs. See, you see they're a little bit lower than that 85. All right, right around that 84.8-ish area. All right. OMA is there as well. All right, so that's it for CJ. Let's get all this stuff off our screen here. Moving on. FJ. All right, usually a pretty strong correlation between CJ and FJ. I mean, you just think of the CF pair, how it doesn't do a whole lot. It's not very volatile. All right, usually CJ and FJ are pretty, there's usually a pretty decent correlation, all right? Now, unlike CJ though, FJ seems to me to be pretty hyperextended. All right, that's a lot of bull bars, okay? We are in a very strong markup for this pair. That means high volatility for this upcoming week, okay, which makes sense. I mean, we've got a long way to pull back to get to that weekly pivot, which we do at least 75% of the time, statistically, all right? We'll throw on the fibs first, all right? Fibs. Okay, and we'll throw on the EMAs and SMAs as well. They're pretty distant. Okay, I'm not necessarily expecting price to get this low. In fact, I'm thinking about, well, I mean, if I were to say a wider range, I would say about the 111.7 area. All right, around the 61.8. Okay, to the 112.6. So as far up as here, but really if I were to narrow that zone of expected pullback, I guess I would say about 112 to 112.5. So between these two sweet spots, okay? But I mean, we can expect a pretty wide pullback, okay? Let's do on a couple other things. Let's see, TMA. That lower band is kind of clustered with those MAs as well. OMA is a little higher. That's one reason why I mentioned the the wide range. Like, it's pretty wide. We could expect anywhere from, like I said, around 112.6 near this OMA down to 111.7. All right, all the way down to these SMAs in 61.8. All right, if you had to pick a middle ground, probably the weekly pivot. All right, or just somewhere around there. All right, we'll take these off. Trend lines are kind of irrelevant right now in such a steep market at the moment. All right, levels are looking good. 93% chance of breaking out that weekly high. Okay, only a 68% chance of the day, but still levels are looking good, and we're definitely expecting pullback with that 37 level. That 70-something% chance, or rather, sorry, 60-something% chance of, or whatever it is. I'm tired, my math is off. Basically, over the 4 hour, we're expecting a pullback. HMA interestingly is expecting market to kind of go flat. I don't know if I necessarily agree with HMA. Anyway, so those levels I mentioned, okay guys, for FJ. moving on. We're still in the buy low over the course of the week. Okay, this week we have a ton of pairs to buy low for over the course of the week. Next is EA. All right. We're in a pretty strong markup still. Throw these fibs on. All right. Throw the EMAs, the SMAs. They're pretty distant. OMA much closer. Oh, this looks a little familiar. Okay. TMA. The lower band of TMA is what I'm looking at. All right. For this pair I'm looking at like 1.58 down to 1.5, let's say 1.577. Okay, so here's that 1.58 with that really nice turncoat support, that 38.2 area. You've also got the wave, the 34 EMA kind of clustered in there as well. 1.577 right around here. Okay, this is just kind of the general area. I'm thinking maybe down to that kind of that 50 fib, 50 EMA, that kind of area. All right. Next up is EC. All right. Okay, EC. I'd say we're in kind of an average markup here. Not nearly as strong as EA, but just an average decent markup right now. All right. Okay. As far as level I'm looking at, I'm thinking like 1.5 to 1.507. All right. 1.5 between, some of the SMAs, and between the 38.2 to 50 level. 1.507 as high as, of course, that weekly pivot. All right. The OMA is tight. Just what I'm looking at for EC. All right. HMA is predicting going flat. I'm thinking those levels I just mentioned. All right. Next up, EJ. EJ was a beautiful trade last week, and we're looking to continue with that. We have a pretty strong markup. All right. I'm thinking 127 to 128, specifically about the 127.5. All right, that 127.5 is about kind of probing that 38.2, kind of probing the wave. You've got the SMA 100 kind of in that area. All right, decently past the pivot, and the reason I'm expecting such a pullback is because we're in such a strong markup. All right, you can expect a strong rubber band effect, high volatility because we're in a strong markup. All right, if we were in a weaker markup or accumulation distribution market environment, we'd be expecting a much lower range for the week. Okay, a more consolidation range by market environment, but we're expecting just a higher range for this upcoming week. All right. So that 128 to 127, 127.5. All right, guys, looks like I'm out of time for this video. Continuing in the next one.